All right, Honors Algebra 2, welcome to your 6-1-6-4 quiz review video. Quiz is going to be next Friday, February 19th. I think it's a pretty easy quiz. So 1 through 6, given f of x is blank, g of x is blank, h of x is blank. Shout out to everyone's favorite chemistry teacher here, Mr. Palmer, as we have Palmerized this quiz review. This was a past quiz, and we just crossed some things out. So this is legitimately a previously used quiz. So f of x plus h of x, that's another way to write it. F plus h of x, just simply add those two functions together. Number 2, f of x minus g of x. Make sure you're subtracting all of g of x. G of x definitely needs to be inside those parentheses so you subtract correctly. G of x times h of x, you just need to FOIL that. Okay, you're going to get an odd answer there, but it'll be all right. H of x minus g of x, again, g of x is inside that parentheses. F of x times g of x, again, first, outer, inner, last. G of x plus h of x. Identify the domain and range of each function. Again, I'm allowed to take the square root of 0, but not anything less than that. If I'm going to graph it, all right? If I'm going to solve a polynomial, then yes, I can get answers of I. So I set x plus 8 equal to 0. The domain then is x greater than or equal to negative 8. I can plug values of x that are negative 8 or bigger. Then the range, again, the range is staring at you for y greater than or equal to 4. That is a positive root function. As x gets bigger, y gets bigger as well. Number 8, set 3x plus 15 equal to 0. I get negative 5. X greater than or equal to negative 5. The range y greater than or equal to 3. That's another positive root function. That changes on 9. 9, the graph's going to look like this. As x gets bigger, y is going to get smaller, so the range is y less than or equal to 19, while the domain is still x greater than or equal to negative 9. Then on 16, or on 10, 16 is actually the largest x value. You can plug in 17. You get the square root of negative 1. That's no bueno. Plug in 15. You get the square root of 1. That is good. 16 and less, okay? So this graph is actually going this way. Okay, so again, this is a positive root function, so the range is y greater than or equal to 14. This might be good to ask about again in class next week. Given f of x is that, g of x is that, and h of x is 8 minus 6x. Find the following compositions. F of g of negative 1. Figure out what g of negative 1 is. It's 3. Plug 3 into the outer function, then find f of 3. All right. Here's the answer to 12. F of 2. Find that first. That's negative 23. Then do g of negative 23. 13. Find g of 3. Then find h of 23. Then something like 17, f of 3. So I need to figure out what f of 3 is first. That's negative 21. Then I take negative 21. I plug it in for x again in that same f of x. And that's some number. You have 3 times 441 plus, what is that, 336. So something in the thousands. All right, that's why we have calculators. G of 2 is 18, and G of 18 is 98. H of negative 3 is 26. H of 26 should be that. Again, if I made a boo-boo and arithmetic error, let me know. Now I have G of h of x. Well, h of x is 8 minus 6x, so I plug all of that in for x and 5x plus 8. So instead of plugging a number in for x, I plug 8 minus 6x, and then I find the rest of that function, 48 minus 30x. H of f of x is 3x squared minus 16x, so I plug that in for x and 8 minus 6x. Do a little distribution. I'm left with that parabola. All right, it's probably the hardest page. It's page 3 of this, find the inverse. Again, f of x is the same thing as y. Inverses are flipped across the line y equals x, so x and y need to trade spots. If you have y equals, then it needs to be x equals 5y plus 8, and then I solve for y. I subtract 8. I divide by 5. Again, you're going to write it as f inverse of x. Original function, I was multiplying only x by 5. Now I'm dividing everything by 5. I was adding 8. Now I'm subtracting 8. Opposite operations. When you think of inverses, that kind of makes sense. 23, y equals blank. So now you got x equals 8y minus 6 over 4. Multiply by 4. Add 6. Divide by 8. I can divide everything by 2. F inverse of x is 2x plus 3 over 4. 24, y equals 2/3 x minus 9. So x equals 2/3 y minus 9. Add 9 to both sides. Then multiply both sides by 3 over 2. So f inverse of x, we can distribute 3 over 2. It's 3 over 2x plus 27 over 2. Y equals x squared minus 4. So x equals y squared minus 4. X plus 4 is y squared. I'm going to take the square root plus or minus. So it doesn't have, so no single inverse because that plus or minus. Some books might say it has no inverse. Fails the horizontal line test. Y equals the square root of x plus 8 minus 2. So x equals the square root of y plus 8 minus 2. Add 2 to both sides. Then I'm going to square both sides. Then I'm going to subtract 8. Left with that. 27, y equals that root. So x equals the square root of 3y minus 5 plus 3. Subtract 3 from both sides. Then I'm going to square both sides. Then I'm going to add 5 to both sides. Then divide by 3. There we go. Lastly, this page, again, there is an imaginary 2. And that is a mistake because the square root of 81 is 9. The square root of 81 is 9. You ask yourself, how many times does that 2 go into 16? How many pairs of x's can I have if I have 16 x's? I have 8 pairs. How many pairs of y's do I have if I have 24 y's lined up? 2 goes into 24 12 times exactly. The third root of 125 is 5. 3 goes into 9 3 times exactly. 3 goes into 15 5 times exactly. The fourth root of 16 is 2. 4 goes into 25 times. 4 goes into 24 6 times. The cubed root of 64 is 4. 4 goes into, or 3 goes into 48 16 times. Holy cow. 3 goes into 24 8 times. All right, again, the second root of 49 is 2. 2 goes into 30 15 times. 2 goes into 20 10 times. Fourth root of 16 is 2. 2 goes into 8. Or, I'm sorry. The fourth root of 16 is 2. 4 goes into 8 twice. 4 goes into 12 3 times. The square root of 144 is 12. 2 goes into 16 8 times. And into 14 7 times. All right, so I have 15 of these 3x plus 7s lined up. I want to put them in groups of 3, so there's going to be 5 of those groups. 3 goes into 15 5 times. 4 goes into 25 times with 5x plus 1 as that base. All right, that is everything that could be on your quiz. So I think it's a pretty easy quiz, and this is Yak Math Videos signing out.